Hey heroes of Hyrule, welcome to a live stream with me on camera and Link and the giveaway, and I have a silver play button and I have so many things to show you. I'm like super excited. So hi to everybody in the chat. Oh my god, there's so many people. Hello Emma, hello Noxus, hello Arthur, hello VLC, hello Terry, hello Arcana, hello hello Smoyfloof, hello Owen Myers, hello Adrian. Okay, I'm gonna say hi to everybody even more soon. So everybody was expecting this day where we do the giveaway raffle. Um, Now I must say that it was delayed from yesterday because I couldn't find an online tool to do like a giveaway between thousands of people. So Angry Bokoblins, the YouTuber, if you know him by any chance, he actually made a script for me that actually raffles thousands of names. So we're gonna actually do it now. Here, let me show you. It's pretty awesome. Here, okay, so let's just do the test. All 22. Look, so it's gonna, what we're gonna do, we're gonna raffle all the entries, all the thousands of entries until it reaches number 1, and that's gonna be the winner. And that winner's gonna win the Nintendo Switch. And again, thanks for everybody who supported me on the Patreon, on the YouTube, on the Instagram and everything. I really appreciate it. And thanks for everybody who joined the giveaway contest. I really appreciate it. And I'm out of order at the moment. No, okay. Okay, let's close this. Okay, by the way, if Angry Bokoblins win this giveaway, it means he basically made the script choose his name on purpose. So if he's gonna win, I'll be very suspicious. And thanks a lot for to Lego Dude as well. He connected between me and Annoying Bokoblin. Okay, so why don't we open it? Okay, so it's gonna take, there's almost 40,000 entries, and it's gonna take about 2 hours. Actually, it's gonna take exactly 2 hours and 8 minutes to raffle all the names. So every time you see your name, you should shout it out in the chat on YouTube. So why don't we begin the giveaway, and then I'm gonna show you more things, and then we're gonna play Zelda and blah 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 blah. Okay, so put it on. Okay, we're gonna start the raffle right now. Bloop. Okay, there's almost 37,000 entries. It's basically all the viewers who joined. Multiply the name by how many times they did the YouTube, which task they did. YouTube, Twitch, actually the one who actually supported me on Patreon, I really appreciate it. Although many people abuse the Patreon task, but I obviously screened all the invalid entries. So again, thanks for everybody who's tuning in, and anybody who joined the giveaway. And again, good luck. Let's see who's gonna win the Nintendo Switch console. Now, before we begin playing Zelda, okay, YouTube finally remembered to send me the silver play button. It's about freaking time. So apparently they didn't do it automatically when I reached 100,000 viewers. I mean subscribers, like same thing. So I emailed them like it took me 10 months to reach 100,000, and it's been a year and 2 months ever since then, and YouTube didn't even contact me. Hey, you want a silver play button? Yes, please. So I actually contacted them like last week. That was pretty quick actually. And they said, oh, okay, yeah, we didn't do it automatically, so here's the code. Just put it in and grab your play button. So apparently when you get a YouTube play button, you can actually, it doesn't have to be your channel name. It can be like any name. They just say, what's the name you want on the button? So, ooh. Look at the button, it's black. No, I'm kidding. Okay. We don't need this. You get a card apparently. For congratulations. And you get kind of like a nice looking postcards as well. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, now let's go to the meat of the package. Okay, I thought it's gonna be smaller. Like, what the crap? I think they changed it. It looks different. What? Look at this. The box is empty. Is there any hidden strategy on YouTube there? Whoa. It's brand new. It's brand new and it's so shiny. Look at this. It's so shiny. I wrote Medi like the channel name, like the way it's supposed to be. And look at this. You can even see. That's my stream deck. That's my laptop. Look at the reflections. Oh, here's my laptop. It's all mirrored. I'm not. What the crap? Okay, so I want to thank you seriously. Like I didn't do anything for this. It was all you guys. All you. Thank you for supporting me. I love you, everybody. Thank you so much. So apparently it's not really a play button. They kind of changed it to a frame thingy. Maybe it's a fake one. Maybe I got scammed. I don't know. I'll email Google. I'll tell them send me a button too. Like what the crap? Okay, so now we're done with this. Thanks everybody again for all the support and the love. I really appreciate it. And hopefully next time I'm gonna show you a different color frame of a YouTube button color. We're getting there. We're pretty close. Today we're gonna reach 170,000. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so as you can see, let me turn on the AC. I'm so hot in here. Oh my god. Okay, so let me just put this on the side. So what I have for you installed this evening is a live stream of playing Zelda and doing random things. And again, like I said, the raffle should take exactly like 2 hours and 8 minutes. So the live stream should be around 2 hours and a half. And okay. Ouch. I hit my head in my microphone. What the crap. Okay, so so I showed you the silver play button. That's awesome. Again, thanks a lot everybody. The raffle is going on. We're gonna play Zelda now. And in 50 minutes, we're actually gonna watch a video of mine which I already uploaded, but I scheduled and upload it in like 50 minutes. So when it gets published, we're gonna view it. We're gonna watch the video live, like on the live stream. Okay. Now we can start playing Zelda for 2 hours. And now I can notice the chat even more. I should say hi to everybody more. Hey Simon, hey Peter, hey Lincoln, hey Bedberg, hey Derek, hey Lil Corndog, hey Link, Lord of Hyrule. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Everybody who's seeing me for the first time on camera, and anybody who's finally hearing my voice for the first time. Okay, we're just paragliding at this point. Okay, so apparently I just found about this like a few days ago and made a video about it, which everybody apparently likes. Where Link, you can actually double jump in a way and do a flurry rush in midair, like at any given time, like any given point. So, hey Daniel, hey Chris, hello, hello. Hello Mango, hello Nicholas, glad you made it. I probably missed so many names. Shalom Viking, glad you're a fan from Israel. Happy to see you. Hello Prince of Soup. Wait, what? Okay, let's do the trick. Let's do the double jump. Let's see if I can do it. Wait. Okay, no, it didn't work. Just dang it. I don't even see the Yiga. Okay, what the crap? Come on, stop shooting. Ugh, that was too low. That was way too low. That was way too low. Oh, I almost made it. Jeez. Okay, so I do get a tiny bit of lag because I'm playing on my laptop for the capture card. It kind of messes up the timing. But let me try one. Wait, maybe it's because I'm on a downhill, on like uphill, more like this. Wait a second. Wait a second. It worked! It worked! It worked! Okay, finally it worked. I'm still in middle. Okay, man. So yeah, apparently I was like uphill. Now, this only works with the Hylian shields, to be honest. If you can see, that was awesome. That was awesome! He died. So it only works with the Hylian shield. Any other shield you're gonna do it with, just gonna break, like instantly. Even the ancient shield, it just breaks in like one bomb. Like what the crap. So the Hylian shield, which is technically the best shield ever, like in the game, in terms of durability. So you gotta use it with this one. And if it breaks, you can always buy it again at the town you built. A Terry town. What the crap? I forgot the name of the town. Hey William, hey Link, hey Infamous. Hey Simon again. Hey fan of Zelda. Hello fan of Zelda. Oh hey Aisha Das. Oh happy you watched my live stream with your daughter. And good luck in the giveaway. Maybe you're gonna win. Maybe. Wait. Everybody here is like trying to do a fight with me. What's going on? Okay, you know what? I'm kind of sick of this desert place. Why don't we sky surf somewhere else? Okay, you just go there. You just go there. Oh no! What the crap? I can feel the lag already. No! What the crap? He's blocking my way. Okay, he just blocked my way. He didn't even let me. Okay, everybody is eyes basically. Oh, what? I was so slow at it. Okay, let me jump again. See ya, Bocos! I'll talk to you later. I love this glitch. This is the best glitch that ever existed in video games. Look, I was just there, where that tiny health bar was. Okay, so I was thinking about making a video of demonstrating tons of fun glitches and kind of like showing a point where glitches should become abilities in Breath of the Wild 2, like the sequel. Like jumping on an enemy and then like bursting upward into the sky. That's so useful. It's way better than Revali's Gale. What's this? What? Why is there a random fire? Hey Link65, hey Hato, hey Tomislav, hey Bradenbird, hello Cheats HD. Hey Cheats, I'm originally from Israel. If nobody knew this yet, come on, everybody knows this yet already. Not yet, already. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so what I wanna actually do is, well, we need this for the surfing. I feel some tiny lag. Some tiny lag in the game. Okay. We can use it now. Whoa, the game just froze. Did you see that? It actually loaded the... Okay, my green screen is messing up. Why do you see the background all of a sudden? Okay. What we're gonna do is focus over there and focus over here. And what we're gonna do is just... Wait. I have an idea. Where's the mask? Where's the Boko mask? I need the Boko mask in my life. Okay, what's up, guys? Well, if I do it on this though, it doesn't really matter. Can you not lock on someone? Okay, thanks. Okay, make it. What? I didn't even have a bow on. Jeez Louise. I didn't even have a bow on. Although I can just do a backflip, but you know, for the fun of it. What? Wait, that's actually fun. That can be really cool. Wait, if I just do this... Wait a second. Let me go back on the thingy. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Wait, that's not even gonna reach him. Just gonna reach me. What the crap? Okay, let's do the thingy now. When you do this, and you double jump. You double jump! This is so epic. Okay, this is not so epic. What a fake. I was trying to do a backflip, but it did a side jump, and it made me hit me. And why is Mifa's Grace disabled? Oh, because of the video, that's why. So it's really awesome. You can actually, even besides the double jump, even if you parry a bomb, you parry it so you don't get hit, but the Boko gets thrown in the air, then you can use stasis in mid-air to freaking hit him. Here, let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. Put the mask on. What's up, Bokos? What's up? Wanna see bomb? Wait a second, let me... Okay, that didn't... Wait, I wasn't waiting. I wasn't waiting. That wasn't in me. That was almost in me though. That was almost in me there. Dang it. But you get the point. It depends on the angle, but you can really do it. Oh, dang it. That was a close one. Wait a second. What? Why are you kicking the bomb? Stop kicking the bomb, man. Wait. Wait a second. Is Mifa's Grace off? It is on. Dang it. Okay, we got him. But where is it? Damn it. What? No! See, the lock-on really messes you up. And they come from the side. And like, what the crap? Okay, let's try something else. Oh, dang it, I chose my stasis. Okay, let's try not die 1 second. Where's the food? Where is the food? Where is the food? Okay, 40 minutes left. And there's gonna be a new video. We're gonna watch live. I hope you're gonna like it. Better like it. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, dang it, he died. Well, I don't think we need him. He can die, okay. Okay, he's burning. Oh, what? I canceled the stasis. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Okay, hit me. I'll take it. What? It didn't go in midair. That was such. That was so lame. Okay, plan B. Plan B is to get the crap out of here. Wait, come close. Come closer, Boko. Who is it? Wait, he got his weapon burned. Jeez. No, other side, other side. Other side. Wait, is there? Who's? I just heard another horn. Is there another Boko around? That's so weird. Oh, what? There's another one. It doesn't matter, cause we're out of here. Whoa! This is so awesome. I can just do this all day, like just do sky surfing everywhere. And watch the game freeze on me, cause I'm moving too fast in Hyrule. Hey William Lick! Hey Alice! Hey Radical Raichu! Hey Danny Emerson! Hello Adrian again. It's not lag, it was the game that froze. Okay, let's see if we can get the... Let's see if we can get the dragon to pop out. What's the dragon? Come on. Wanna see me do it again? Hey Ian, hey VR, hey Kato, hey Francis. Hello Hannah Malloy. Where's the dragon? Where the crap is the dragon? Here he is. He's right here. I can see him. Wait, is this close enough? Is this close enough? I don't think that was close enough. Is it close enough? No. Apparently not. How close do you need to get? Just give me freaking horn. Oh, you got him. Okay. Wait, so where, how far am I from? So he's around here. Oh, I wish it could be farther though. Like you could shoot him like from across, as long as you see him. But doesn't work that way. Wait, if I go there, wait, I think there's a lizard. Hey, so everybody who's wondering and just tuned in, we're doing the giveaway raffle. Everybody who joined in the month of April. Oh wait, I didn't even notice the stamina. Everybody who joined in the month of April and the first week of May, and supported me on YouTube, on Instagram, and Twitch, and even Patreon. I really appreciate it. And there was about like, a few thousand fans who joined, and every fan's name is multiplied. So some names are like 10 times in the list. Some are the maximum to be on the list is 26 times. But that's only for the one who supported me on Patreon though. So yeah, and for everybody who didn't notice, all the reminder videos of me doing a giveaway for a Nintendo Switch in the past month. Good luck next time, and pay attention to giveaways I do. When it reaches number 1, we're gonna obviously announce the winner. Although it's gonna announce it automatically. What? You know what I forgot to do? I set up a soundbox so I can unveil this. But I didn't even use it. I didn't even use it. Okay, I used it, but it's too late. It was just coincidence. It was too late. I hope. Did you even hear the sound effect? Wait a second. Wait a second. No. In 30 minutes, we're gonna watch the new video. In 30 minutes. Wait, what? How is there a dragon? How did he spawn again? I just... Wait a second. No! Okay, phew. They changed weapon. But how did he spawn it? What? It doesn't make sense. Once you went up the portal and then he spawned again. What the crap? Was there a blood moon and I didn't notice? Like, what the crap? Very strange. Very strange. Can I even make it to the island? Oh, I can. So we need to get the crap out of here, like ASAP. Buy you an amiibo, Raichu. What would you want me to buy you an amiibo? The dragon wants to watch my stream, huh? Hey Mega Eevee, welcome. Hey Lizalfo, let me jump on your head. Okay, let me jump on your head real quick. We don't even have a shield on. Oh come on, that's wait. One thing. I don't think it's good, is it? I don't know. We don't need this. What? Wait, who's getting electrified? That wasn't me. He did, apparently. Jeez. Hey, Pyrobird, you saw your name? I told you, everybody who sees the name, every time they see the name, just type something spammy in the chat. Like, wow, or something, I don't know. Okay, I don't see any more Lizalfos. Do you see more Lizalfos? That's a Lizalfo. Nope, that's a Zora. Can't really jump on their head. Oh, here's a Lizalfo. Come on. Did he get hit by it? He almost got hit by it. Come on, just come here, come here. Can you come here already? Jesus Louise. Get here. Oh no, he's getting electrified. The game kills all the creatures. What the crap? Oh wait, oh here, that's perfect. I need you guys. I need you. Is it good? No, it's not good. That was bad. But I can do it again. That was a weird angle. Yeah, that needs more height. Hold on a second. Hold on. No, don't fall the head. Okay. Make it, make it! Damn. Just didn't. I'm trying not to kill them, but I think it's kinda... Wait, no, that was so bad. Come on. Yeah, that's good, that's good. It wasn't good. Okay, okay. Something here doesn't... There's nobody here. We gotta go to the bridge now. Wait, is there another Lizard? Oh, here's a Lizalfo. Oh, dang it. He's not a golden one. It means the chances are... Come on, I'm whistling here. Just come here. Wait, I didn't call you Sonic. Jeez. Come on. No, don't use a bow. Just come here. Can I make the jump? Wait, he actually made it. No. The angle sucked. That was pretty cool though. I want to save it. What the crap? Wait, let me lock on you. This is so epic. Oh no, I didn't make it. Dang it. Hey Phoenix, welcome. Thanks a lot for moderating the moderating the chat. I really appreciate it. Look, we're almost below 30,000 entries. We're almost there, almost. Hey William Wayne, good luck. Good luck in the raffle. Hey Phoenix, good luck too. I know even YouTubers joined my giveaway. YouTubers and my mod, everybody who could join my giveaway. Like, why not? Even Angry Bokoblin joined my giveaway. I don't think that's good. Whoa, that's actually awesome. Wow, that was so cool. Gee. Whoa. Okay, let's go to the bridge. Save it. Save it. I hate when it's cloudy. Hey Kyle, welcome. Hey Annie. Hey Silver Eclipse. Spider-Man. We don't need this anymore, right? Why is it so cloudy? Look at the list of names. Look at the... wait. Look how many. Wait a sec. Look how many. Wait, I know. Let's put something here. So he's gonna look at it. Here. Let the I need the right angle. Here, we got it. We got. Yeah, this is the bridge for the Xenoblade crossover. There is a treasure chest that falls from the sky here. Go double jump off the cliff. Let's try double jumping off the cliff. Let's do the double jump, the double jump, but without the bow. See if we can do it. See if we can do it. Dang it. That doesn't... I didn't even have the bow. Didn't even have the bow. Okay, just let me stand on it. Just let me stand on it. No, why? Why like that? Why? I love you too, William Lick. Good luck in the giveaway. Hey, Fierce Guy. Hey, Matt Suds. Hey, Crash Calvin. You can't join the giveaway anymore, unfortunately. It was for everybody who tuned into my channel in April and the first week of May. But don't worry, I'm gonna do another giveaway. I always love doing giveaways. Like, why not? I really enjoy doing the fan art giveaway. And again, thanks for everybody who drew all the amazing fan art. It was so awesome. Like, there were so many great pieces over there. Okay, I need the bike. And I need something else. No, not this one. This one. Okay, let's go to the horizon. You cannot get bored out of Zelda. Come on, this is an endless game. You can do anything in this game. Anything. Why does everything look so cinematic with the camera? You can make a TV show like this, which I already did. For Link's Adventure, if you remember. And yes, I'm still working on Prologue 3rd. For crying out loud. So what if? What if? I'll push this guy up. And he died. Wait, it didn't work. Dang it. Wait, it kind of worked. Jeez Louise. Wait, can I stand on this? I can. Wait, I can stand on this. Can stand like this.
Grace is ready.
Wait, wasn't there a cork seed? Oh no, it was just a treasure chest. What? Wait, I knew there was a cork seed. I knew it. I knew it. Shocking. There's a cork seed. Wait, I missed a really good question in the chat. What was the question? What was the question? Where is it? I missed the question. Someone copy and paste it in the chat. What? Why am I stuck? Why am I stuck? No. Jeez Louise. Like, jeez Louise. Wait a second. Oh, finally. Jeez. Okay, we got it. We finally. Wait, are there any Lizalfos left? Oh, he was sleeping here apparently. Okay. I think it's good. I don't think it's good. No, it wasn't good. Can you please do prologue? We have been waiting for months. I know. You actually have been waiting for a year, to be honest. It's been literally a year since prologue second. I know. Ever since then, I only did the interlogs. And I did another spin-off. But I still haven't done the prologue first. I know. I'm sorry. It just takes such a long time. I already have the episode planned. I just need to... The main issue here is I need all the amiibos again. Like, I need to use them again on this save file on the Switch. Because I don't want to record everything on the Wii U. Because then it's gonna be like a lesser quality. I just need to do all the amiibos, weapons and the suits again on the Switch. And I haven't done doing it. It just takes so long. Because it's like basically luck. Wait, how did I... What? So I really gotta like see like a few hours to finish it off. And then I can finish recording the other scenes I need for the prologue third. It's gonna be super epic. It's gonna be some sort of a conclusion with a continuation. Because remember, there's already a prologue for season 2 of Paul Link's Adventure, if you remember. Which is basically Ganon versus Ganondorf.
Rivali's Gale is now ready.
Okay, we got the Gale. But we don't need it anymore. At the moment. Wait, what? I did the jump correctly. Okay, I don't think he wants to do the jump. Just do it like this. Do it like this, for crying out loud. Make it, make it! Okay, where is the suit? Okay. Okay, in 18 minutes the video's gonna get published. And we can actually view it on the live stream. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Boko? What's up, Boko? Wait, I don't have enough fingers for this. Okay. What? No! How did I cancel it? Jeez. Okay. Okay. We can go even higher now. What? What? How did it... How did he die from that? That was just a tornado height. That wasn't... What the crap? I didn't know that can happen. See, what? How is this game keep getting endless? I didn't know that's even a possibility. I remember doing this in the past. He just walked. He didn't kill the poker. Okay, let's... That was so unexpected. Like, that was the most unexpected kill ever. Okay, so I hope whoever wins the giveaway, Raffle, it's gonna be a normal name. Because I see very weird names in the list over there. I did have to remove some weird Unicode characters. So every time you see an underscore, it basically was a weird character. But I hope the winner's gonna be just a normal name. Just the first and last name, please. Let's hope for the best. Look at this. D underscore D underscore D D D D D. Like, what is that name? If it has invalid details, like invalid names or emails, I'm obviously gonna disqualify it. Although I did basically already did the screening, so all the names in the entries should be basically the legit ones. What? Dang it. Just dang it. Okay, apparently they just die like that. See, now I want to make a video of just a compilation of of killing bokoblins on flying platforms. Okay, how come it's not walking though? It should go up like another level. What am I not doing correctly? Oh, I'm doing this. Then the stasis. Then the tornado. What's going on? Okay, that's as high as you can get. Okay, I froze it like instantly. What? What changed? I did a video of me climbing to like as high as possible with this method. Like, very strange. Go. No! Okay, I don't think we can. Okay, it's not even. I'm doing it correctly, right? Screw this. Screw you, Yiga too. Goodbye. Goodbye. Wait, what if you do this? What if I jump from this? Wait. Oh, that's cool. You can actually... I think that's the first time I tried it. Probably not, but... the first time I remember trying this. Jumping off a wall to shield surfing? Okay. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. Where is he going? What? I don't think he cared much. Okay, you go there. Now let me jump on your head. Okay, let me jump on your head. Wait, why are you going so far away? I don't think I can make that distance. What? Obviously not like that. Kill bosses, go kill Lionels. Okay, after this, let's skyscrape and go kill a Lionel. Okay, let's skyscrape. Oh, what? Let's go to the Great Plateau Lionel. Get the crap out of here. Let me go. Okay. Oh no! I lost the ability to freeze people. Oh, come on, jeez. Can we not do this like this? No, what? Oh, come on. That didn't work. You gotta freeze them. Hey, I have this. Okay, one of them. No, he didn't make it. Come on, why not? No. Why do you jump up? Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. I'm shielding, I'm shielding. Okay, that's on your conscience. Dang it. Wait, I just noticed. I'm wearing crappy clothes. That's why. It's the clothes from the previous video. That's why it sucks. Okay, now I'm actually flanging. Come on. Come, what the crap? I'm just trying to. Jeez Louise. Okay, now I broke this too. This is not going so well, I think. This is not going so well at all. Wait, that's our chance. It is! Right where we need it. To the great plateau we go. Well, we kind of missed it a little bit. But it's good, it's good. The Raffle is right now, Viking. If you're not noticing. All the names on the left. Hey, Pandemon, Pandemon. Glad you made it. Hey, Ruben Dudink. Happy you made it to the live stream. Glad to see you again. Hey, Itus Delitus. Hey, Brody Davis. Okay, so clue. Not clue, a hint. I mean spoiler. And a teaser. The video we're gonna watch in 10 minutes, the new one, actually happens in this area. So, just so you know. That's a small spoiler. Wait, what's the best one? What? I didn't have the bow on, dang it. Okay, that's gonna break shortly. Okay, can we just choose a regular weapon? Like this. What the crap, man? What the crap? What the? Come on, stop blocking in on them. Okay, I just have to kill them. Oh, come on. I was so doing the ice arrow thingy. Wait, what? He didn't stun him? Okay, let's use the axe obviously. Okay, let's do the thingy. Well, that double jump didn't work, apparently. Hey, Pandemon, Pandemon. Yes. Hey, Adrian the Awesome. Hey, Santail. Hey, Derek again. Okay, so after let's see. Everybody, every time I say hi in the chat, everybody say hi back. Amazing. Look, we can play as a Lionel. We can play as a Lionel. Does he care? I don't think he cares. Imagine you could play as a Lionel. That would be awesome. Then you see Link in the distance. Then you're gonna be like, hello! Let's duel! Everybody's gonna join the live stream right now. Is gonna be like, what? What's going on? Make it cinematic. He doesn't even care. Wait, now he cares. Jeez, thanks for breaking my shield, Lionel. Jeez, thanks for breaking all my shield. silly thingy. Okay, let's try this again. Wait, I don't have a shield, dang it. Oh, that's why it didn't work earlier. I didn't use the Hylian shield, that's why. Yeah, like that was the problem. Whoa! It actually worked! It actually worked! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Let's save it. Every time we do something epic, let's save it. Okay, let's do this correctly. Come on, come on. What? He was blocked by HP. Jeez Louise. Oh, it actually worked. That didn't work. Dang it. Wait, I gotta use this one. Wait, no! Okay, you can actually use this for the double jump too. Let's try it actually. Let's use it with the fire. Oh, come on. Okay, Link actually gets stunned after this. So the fire is now really a good option. Dang it. Shoot the thingy with the... The Lionel killed the bat. The Lionel killed the bat. Dang. Okay, I was trying to kill it. Whoa, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was like last second. That was like the last second. Okay, let's do the double jump. That was so bad. Oh no, he has bomb arrows again. Let's see, am I going to land right, right beneath him? In slow motion. Come on. In slow motion. Jump. 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 Whoops. I accidentally pressed A. That did the shit. At this point we're not even fighting him. We're just messing with him. You didn't hit him. Double jump? The double jump worked. And the bow broke. What? He just shielded all of them without doing nothing. What? Because of the tiny lag, it's very hard to parry. Like, I know the animation, but... See? What the crap? Freaking lag, freaking lag. Oh, I ran out of thingies. I gotta cook stuff in this game. Okay, let's try it again. What the? That wasn't lag. That was just being Whoa! Shit! Shit! What? That wasn't a parry. That didn't even hit the thingy. Can you do the fire again? Thank you. What? Why did they do the fire so early? Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Yeah, we're not actually trying to kill him. We're just, I don't know, playing with the lineup at this point. Wait, there was the dragon. The dragon. That's one. That's two. Whoa! Can he make it? Is he materialized? Is he materialized? I don't think he is. Oh no! He did the bomb arrows, dang it. Come on, come on. What? What the heck? That was cheesy thing to do. Wow, he actually hit a few times. Video is available now? Let's watch it! Wait. Wait a second. Okay. Let's watch the video. Are you all ready? Let me just put the thing in here. I'm ready to watch the video. Are you all ready to watch the video? I'm super ready. Okay, where's the thingy? That's my channel. If anybody knew, that's my channel. Didn't know. Refreshing the page. Where is the new video? I've been scammed. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Sending a horse to a fight to fight a lion. To fight. Okay, I hope you're all ready. Okay, I hope you're all ready. Look, it has one view in 20 seconds. One view in 20 seconds. Okay, let's watch it a little bit. Wait, let me... where's the home screen? So we won't hear the thing. Okay, let's watch it. Wait, there's no sound. Wait, how come it's not working? I'm trying to... Oh, here it is. Jeez Louise. Okay, here, I got it. Okay, it doesn't... Okay, why is this thing blocking the way? Okay, let's watch the video. I'll turn it up so you can watch it. Volume. Wait, let me, okay, I need to move myself. I'm blocking the text. I'm blocking the freaking text. Where am I? Let me be here 1 second. Mady, do it! Mady, do it! Okay. So the horse landed safely. But the lioness doesn't care. Look, he doesn't even care. Okay. I'm just flanging around here. when Mady levitates, you can slide on the thingy. Move like butter. See, again, it doesn't materialize when you're not close to it. Kinda sucks. Actually, let's do this. Yeah, that was the fail of it. I noticed that star piece at the last second. I was about to sleep and then... Star piece. This video just got published. I scheduled it for like 3 minutes ago. And we're watching it live. Yeah, I accidentally killed the horse. It wasn't intentional, I'm sorry. But he's still alive. I don't think he wants to do it again. I did my best. to try. And he died again. Sonic the horse died again. And the lion doesn't care about anything. He's officially dead. He'll be okay though. Look, okay, this is a paradox. What? Look, I made the video. Can you press the camera? I made the live stream be in the end screen. It's a paradox. So if you... What the crap? What? So if you click this, you can see two Medis. You can what? You can see two Medis. So if you click this, okay, I should really. You can see two Medis. You can. What? Okay, I muted it, so you can see two Medis. So if you click this. Wait, I'm... what the crap? You can see two Medis. Okay, look, okay, now it's a paradox. Okay, let's just close it. Okay, we closed it. That's the end of that. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And maybe you'll watch it later on. Appropriately. Sub to PewDiePie. I already subbed to PewDiePie. What the crap? Who isn't subscribed to PewDiePie? What? The question is, who watches the video? Okay, so where was I? Okay. I was in the flurry rush. Wait, I didn't change the thing. Okay, now I can hear the video. Okay, he obviously hit me. Let's parry that button. Okay, maybe not. Okay, can you? Yeah! We did it! Oh no, oh no! Come on. I was trying to flurry rush. It doesn't land. Oh crap. What? He just went full right for me. Better than getting hit by a lion. Okay, what's the best food I have? Just me. Oh, I have this. Hey, fierce guy. Welcome to the live stream. Sweet. Don't dare shooting. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, what if? What if? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna... Dang it. What a fail. He's gonna shoot me so bad now. No. Eat more. Wait, not stamina. Just eat regular food. Hey, Lego dude. Happy you made it to the live stream, Lego dude. Look, I'm using Angry Bocoblin's script for the giveaway. Wait, why did it turn off? Who's shooting? Ah, I missed it. Come on. Who's gonna shoot first? Who's shooting first? Come on. Who's gonna shoot first? It's a duel between me and Elena. He's not shooting! He's not shooting! Oh! The arrows missed me. I'm Neo. I'm Neo from the Matrix. I can dodge. Not bullets, arrows. That was so awesome. See what? He messed up. No. He messed up the thingy. Oh, dang it. That was so bad. Dang it. Hold on 1 second. This is too much fun, guys. This is too much fun. Come on, eat bananas. Wait, hold on. Dang it. Where did the water crap? What? How did I? Who changed the thing? What's going on? Come on, eat all the stuff you have in the bag. Oh, come on, I was... Oh, I was about to get the crap out of there. Eat watermelon, come on. We finally got it. It's the duel between both of them. Whoa, he can shoot it in midair? I think that's the first time I ever do it. Come on, I'm ready. You know what? I won't even shoot you. Oh no! That was so close! Oh wait, I don't have a finger! Okay, where's Revali's Gale when you need it? Where's Revali's Gale when you need it? Wait, let's eat something that makes us faster. Okay, now we're super fast. Now we're fast like Sonic. Come on, we need Revali's Gale, come on. I'm still fast, Come on, do it! Do it! Do it! Slow motion! Stop blinding. It's pretty cool how you can see him. Whoa! Wait, where am I falling? What? He dropped the thingy. Come on, jeez Louise. That was a cheap shot. That was such a cheap shot, jeez Louise. Come on, we're almost halfway through in the giveaway. For crying out loud. 18,400 is like... Whoa, he's shooting it in a weird direction. Wait, do we have... Come on, Revali. Oh, come on. Where is it? He just went down the hill. Oh my god! Oh my god! That was like last second. That was like super last second. That was really cool. The adrenaline of doing it the last second. The adrenaline of missing it the last second. Wait a second. The Hylian shield broke. Forever. Now we need to buy it again. We can reload the save though.
It was my pleasure.
Still have more. Dang it. Wait, I have an idea. Let's do this. I have an awesome idea. Let's do this. Oh no, oh no. Woo! He shot it back upwards. Like, what the crap? Come on. Okay, we're gonna shoot him an ancient arrow right when he shoots it. Come on. Oh no! I forgot to. God dang! I forgot to eat stamina stuff. Ah! What's up, guy? See ya! Come on. Oh, you already shot it! Dang it. Come on. Come on, shoot it. Shoot it. Let's eat it from now. Shoot it. Shoot it! He didn't want to shoot it. See ya! Okay, now we can shoot it. Wait, no. Okay, now we're super golden. Come on, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it! Ah! The timing sucks. I'm out of gales. I'm out of gales, dang it. Wait, did he miss? And that's how you kill a liner. I'm joking. But seriously now. Let's load so we can get our shield back. Flying machine. Yeah, we can do a flying machine at some point. Okay, so the giveaway, the Raffle script is going to end in about an hour and 10 minutes. Something like that. Okay. Guys, what do you want me to do in the game? Anything. Give me suggestions. Crap, I lost my shield surfing shit. Give me suggestions. What do you want me to do in the game? Flying. Okay, everybody wants the flying machine all of a sudden. Yes, all the names that appear are people who's not winning. Come on, shoot the laser. Woohoo! We made it. We saved it. We saved it. I'm too quick for my own good. Do something glitches. Do something glitches. Okay, okay. Something. Wait a second. Okay. 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 Got it? Load. Oh no, it's raining all of a sudden. Ugh. I was about to use freaking... Oh crap, I broke the thing. Okay, here. Move, horse. Move. Okay. I don't think that's good. Wait, no, I need the bomb arrows, but why is it raining all of a sudden? Okay, it's summer rain. It should be... It should be over soon. Use the Shika bow. Yeah, Ellie says use the Shika bow scope glitch. Oh, that's what I'm using. Well, it's not with the scope, it's with the camera. It's a similar glitch, but... Okay, has it stopped raining? What? Move! What the crap? I think we got it. Oh, I got one! Dang it. I don't have... Oh, I have this bow. That's actually a good bow. Okay, okay. Oh, well, see. Boop! That was sad. That was super sad. Let's play first person in Zelda. Flip! Join the Discord server, everybody says. In the chat. Do invisible glitch. The invisible glitch is such a pain in the butt. Okay, let's do the invisible glitch. Trial of the Soul glitch. That takes way too long. Oh wait, you mean leaving the trial of the... That's a possibility. Wait, why is he blocking the way? Wow, you can actually... What? It hit the freaking horse right when he appeared. Jeez Louise, Sonic. Hey, Chester's Tips for Life. Happy you made it to the live stream. Oh dang it. Okay, let's do the invisible glitch. Well, let's use the mask though, so it's gonna be funny. Guys, we have free food. I just noticed we reached 18,000 on the entries, which means we have free food exactly. Which means there's an hour and 3 minutes until it's done. Angry Bokoblin will be proud of his script. Okay, let's do the invisible glitch thingy. Let's use the state. Kinda a pain in the ass to do, but oh, it actually worked. It worked. It worked. We're invisible. We're not invisible? What? Why am I not invisible? Can I be invisible? Oh, here I am. Now I'm invisible. Wait, now I'm not. Make me invisible. Okay, I'm invisible. Okay, I'm not. I am. Wait, you can't even see me. You can't even see me. What are you doing? You can't even see me. Look at this. What? What is this sorcery? Look at this. Thing just shows up. Now he's here. Now he's not. Now he's here. And now he's not. Look, it's a perfect transition. Look, whoop, whoop, it disappeared. Okay, let's go. Let's go, my friend. Let's go. Just follow my shadow. Follow my shadow. Can someone light up the fire? What happened if you use a bomb? Oh, that's what happened. I think they're onto me. I think they're onto me. Go under Hyrule Castle again. No, that's a pain too. I'm reading the chat while trying to climb a wall with no stamina. No stamina anyway. Here, we're gonna go do the flying machine now. Hey, Ethan Yellow. Happy you join in. Hey, Jason. Yes. We are all dying for a multiplayer Breath of the Wild Zelda. Can you do the smuggle glitch? You want me to hold the weapon? Okay. No shield. Wait, what the crap? What? Dang it. Whoop. Whoop. Hey Marcella. Glad you made it. Hey Taylor Rubia. Hey Mega Marcos. Hey Lunk. Yeah, no problem. You can use you can use a screen grab for my video. What do the numbers mean? All the names and the numbers you see on the left are the raffle of the Nintendo Switch giveaway. Okay, so let's do this. Do this. Do this. Wait, do I even have the other shield? No, I don't even have it. I almost hit him. Hey Tom Blick. Thanks for joining in. Hey the fun channel. Hey Cadwell. Cadwell? Wait, Cadwell has been on the chat for a while actually. Hey Banana Daily. Hello there. Wait, there's a thingy over there. There's a stone talus. Okay, what can we do with a stone talus? Can anybody give me an idea? Any ideas? Any ideas with the Lionel? With the talus? He doesn't see me. He doesn't see me. Oh crap. No, he doesn't. Oh, I was about to parry this. No, don't swim like Tiefling. Jeez. Wait, can you plunge it? Okay, forward here. Forward here. Wait, let me get the scenery. Let me get the sunset. Okay, not do it. Do it, do it now, do it now. What? I was so parrying that. Come on. Ah, oh, jeez. He aimed it like closer to me. That's the problem. As you can see. Flip! What? Was I just on his hand or something? Okay, let's kick his butt with this, I guess. It barely does any damage. Jeez Louise. Okay, let's just kill him real quick. I saw that coming. I saw that coming. I saw that coming. Ah! Okay, can you actually... Oh! That broke real quick. Wait, not yet. No! Okay, let's parry him now. That didn't work. Come on, come on, come on. What? That was just a punch? That was like the worst timing ever. Come on. Come on, climb it. Climb it. Climb it. Climb. Okay. Time to finish this. What? I died from that.
My pleasure.
Where's Link? He's underwater. Does that do good damage? Is that... Let's see how far we can kill him from. Did I hit him? If he can stop moving. Oh, what the crap? Do I have more stamina? Come on, quick, quick. What? I have no more? Are you kidding me? Wait a second. Well, he did notice me. No, I can't see crap. Where is it? I'm hitting him. I'm hitting those tiny pixels. Okay, he's almost dead. Come on, where's the Revali's gate? Where's the Revali's gate? 1 more minute? Are you kidding me? Oh, come on. That was way too close. Wait, there's a diamond. There's a freaking... Hey, there's a pig. I was trying to... Dang it. Obviously that didn't work. All I want to do is just go here and do that. Wait, why are they so heavy? Do they have any dragon stuff? I have this, this, and this, and this, and this. Let's make it shine. Still no thingy? Come on, Rivali's Gale, come on. How many more? 1 second.
Rivali's Gale is now ready.
Whee! Okay. Clearly I don't have enough to have time, to have fun. Okay, where's that flying machine? Where is it? Right here. Let's go fly places. Okay, we're at 15,000 entries. We're getting there. We're super getting there. You're hurting me by throwing the stuff away, Lucy says. It's okay, I'm reloading the save file anyways. And I'm not saving, because I broke the Hylian shield. And my ancient shield. And basically I broke all the stuff I have. I was about to drink the AC, remember? Something's burning. Okay, I think it's me. Okay, so if we put the... where is it? Then we can make it. Why am I going here? Why am I going here? The Stone Talus theme is now stuck in my head. Wait, what? Oh. I climbed the wrong hill. Whoop. Other way, other way. Either way. Okay, okay, okay. Where's the bomb? Yes! Ding, 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 ding. Wait, is this? We need this. And we need this. We need this here. Oh, we got it. We got it. Okay, so I'll be honest. When it comes to actually navigating with the flying machine, I suck at it. I just know how to balance it and go upwards. But let's try a little bit. See how I make it. Cause I never really tried practicing on it. Wait, crap. Can you not get lost? Okay, good. Wait, no, 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 no. Dang it. Okay, we obviously messed it up. The winner will be obviously announced in the next hour. And everybody will see that. The winner will also get a message from me. In whichever detail he did, either Discord or what the heck am I doing? Or Instagram or whichever details he put in. And wherever you are in the world, I'm gonna send you a Nintendo Switch. Just tell me which version you want to the winner. You want the blue and the red or the regular one? What the crap. So I noticed actually that many YouTubers do giveaways, but they never do the raffle. They just do like a giveaway for a month on their channel, and then when it ends, it's like, hey, this is the winner, enjoy. Like, where's the raffle though? You gotta make a raffle. If you just press a button and choose a name, it doesn't count. Gotta make original ideas. I always love how I did last time, by the way, where two previous times we did it, where we actually did the thumbnail battle tourney. That was really awesome. If anybody remembers that giveaway, that was really cool. And the one where I did the Mega Man X challenge, where whether if I win or lose, then people go up the ladder. Oh, what the crap! Oh, what the crap! Ah! Okay. I think we're golden. Okay, maybe not. Let me go. What? Crap was that? Let me climb all this around.
Rivali's Gale is now ready.
Okay, we can still make it like this. Oh, what the? That never happened. What? Did I just fall from falling off? Did I lose the other one? Where is it? Where's the other Minecraft? Is it even here? I think I lost. It's lost forever. Probably around the. Hey! How come it shows up and you can't really... I actually remember this. But why does it show up anyway? Ah, okay. Keep that. Hello, that's Ever. Welcome to the... Wait. Is this... Wait, it's right here. What? How did I miss it? Was right here? What the crap? Okay. 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 No, wait. Jeez. Choose the guardian on me, but no, it's actually... It's best... Did I get a message? No. It's best to use two minecarts. That's like the best way to do the flying machine. Come on, is there a wall behind me? Please. Jeez Louise. Okay, now we'll go then. Finally! What? That was a perfect liftoff, but... Okay, how about we do it to the other side this time? Go get your flying license. I either get it the first time, or I get it the 100th. Okay. Okay, now it's gonna... Wait, open sky, good. You don't have Instagram. How don't you have Instagram? That sounds hilarious, T-Man. Instagram. Oh, that's so silly. Hey, Tango Orange King, thanks a lot for subscribing. Maybe you're the 170th, 100,000th. Okay, that's a complicated number to say. Subscriber, maybe. Hey, we made it. Okay, so once you balance it, you can just. Oh no! Wait. Okay, see, you can balance it. Balance it. When it's balanced, oh my god, it works! Oh my god, it works! Wait, no! wait a second. I think I just understood in 1 second how to do the flying machine. Like how to move with it. Oh my god, I know how to use it now. I actually found it. You just need to do with the... You just need to do the joystick like halfway full. I thought you have to like let it go completely. Wait, I'm itching in my nose. Okay, we're golden. Where do we go now? We can go anywhere. Hey Roger. Hey Yusuf Aimer. Hey Mecha Man. Well, let's go upward. Oh my god, I can actually go up now. What? Sometimes a mechanic just clicks in your mind in like 1 second and you get it and you just understand it completely. Hey, how come there's water over there? Oh wait, that's lava. It's lava. It's getting dark in here. My green screen is failing. I always knew how to turn around. I mean, that's easy, come on. And I knew how to balance yourself. But now, I actually understand how to... Wait. Wait. Golden. Wow, this is way faster. You can hear the wind. Wait, what? Wait! You don't even need the joystick! I mean, not the right one. Wait, there's still motion controls. Oh, wow! What? You can use motion controls with the flying machine. I mean, it's that easy. I mean, that's not easy, but you gonna... Ah! No, make it. Make it. Is it on my head? Link. Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, I just learned like you can use the motion controls to control it while pushing it forward. Again, I never really tried too much. I was like the flying machine just to go upward and then paraglide. Cause I really don't like how you can control the camera, and I always love looking at the landscape and stuff. Hold my hand. Are we gonna fight Ganon? Oh, wheel. He went in the cage of the thingy. Where is it? Did I lose it? Yeah, I can still use it. I can still use it. I didn't lose it actually. That's awesome. Hey, I do not have the VR Labo. I will get it though. Or maybe just wait for some other generic VR Labo for the Switch. Like VR headset mount thingy. Because you just need like something that holds your Switch in your face with the goggles. Okay. Wait, let me turn around. We've been there already. Let's go to a new place. No! Yo! Oh my god, we made it! Whoa, it's the last fight. Is this a blood? No, it's not a blood. I'm controlling it with the motion controls. Look. Look, you can just use the motion. Wait, I'm itching it. I didn't know you can use the motion for just the... That's so easy. You don't even need the joystick. Look how easy it is. Look, I can go down. I can go up. Maybe not too much. Wow, it's easier than I thought. Seriously. Every time I say that, I kind of mess it up. Look, unlimited stamina. Unlimited stamina. No, why? Wait, I didn't lose it. I didn't lose it yet. Ah, I still got it. Still got it. Perfect. Who's here? Will I make it? Was that lightning? What was that? Wow, so yeah, I didn't know motion controls really make it that easier. Like to control it. I never really tried, like I said, I just use it to fly upwards. That's what I like it. That's what I like about it. What the crap. No, I don't play Fortnite. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. What the crap? Wait, no! Ah! Stop. Okay. We go then. Okay. My green screen is failing. Oh crap. You can see the edges all of a sudden. Sucks. Should be getting my backlight. I ordered a really good backlight that you can control from my Elgato Stream Deck, which is also by Elgato. But I'm still waiting for it to arrive. I'm using the right hand on the left joystick. I'm using motion controls again. Hey, Sparkle McBurrow. Hey, Roger. Go. Hey, Blight Dragon wants me to go to Satori Mountain with this thingy. So let's do it slowly. Wait, what? Wait, left, I say, left. Left. Fly up to the dragon portal. We've done it before. I don't see, anybody see a dragon? I don't see a dragon. Wait, is there a dragon on the right? No. Sometimes he shows up though. Wait. Oh no! Wait! No! Blip. Last second save. Where's my flying machine? What's up? Okay. Wait, is Satori Mountain lit even? It's not even lit. What's the point? Okay, let's go to... Okay, I know. Hey, Demon Wick, you're welcome. Hey, Tom Blick, thanks for joining the Discord. Hey, Gamekeeper Studio. Oh wow, okay, I just noticed he reached... wait, is it here? The names, it just went below 10,000. What? Okay, I think there's about, let me calculate, did I turn it on the Raffle at like, I think in about 20 minutes. Wait. No. 15 minutes. Okay.
Urbosa's fury is ready.
Less than 20 minutes, it should finish the Raffle, and we're gonna have the winner. Finally. Finally. Okay, so let's get to Lake Hyla real quick. So we can reach the dragon portal from there. If we're lucky, I mean. If we're lucky. What the crap, man? Hey Dominic, yes. I will also contact the winner. Hopefully the winner will be here on the live stream. But if not, then I'll obviously message him. And we'll hope for the best. If for any reason, like I said, the winner is a weird name, and I checked the details from all the user list and like not valid, then second place will win. But let's hope a regular name just wins the first place. Let's keep it clean. Keep it clean and smooth and clean and smooth. Okay. Fly. Let's fly like an eagle. Stand around. Let's go to Lake Hylia. Wait, why is it? Okay. Wait a second, let me push it. Okay, we're golden. You can aim down, you can aim high up. We're golden. Wait, oh my... Golden? I'm almost dead. Wait, I have Mifa's Grace though. Let's just enjoy Mifa's Grace. And let's take the Boko mask off. It's annoying. The Boko mask is annoying. Okay. Mifa's Grace is now ready. It's gonna happen now. Oh wait, it's not cold anymore. Let's go high up. Whoa, I thought this is Black Plateau. Oh my god, we're so far from the thing. You can even do turns with the motion. I know, I've heard really good things about Undertale. Maybe I'll do a live stream of it. You don't heal in this game. Mifa's Grace heals you automatically. Or fairies, if that's your thing. Okay, we're down to 9,000 guys. 9,000 entries. We are so close. And the green screen is getting crappier by the second. Look at this. Look. You can see the green. It's actually a blue screen. But I'm not using a good backlight right now. I'm using a crappy one. So it sucks. Okay, let's start going up a little bit. Look how many buttons you need to press to do the flying machine. Look how many buttons. Look how many buttons. Look how many buttons you need to press. Just one, to be honest. Just the up on the D-pad. Mifa's Grace coming in 90 minutes later. Come on, just... Mifa's Grace, come on. Just, can't you do your thing? What? The game's stuck. The game's full. What the crap? Come on, turn around, turn around. Okay, I think I'm good. So I'm trying to move with the joystick. Wait, how did I mess it up? Why is the motion controls weird? All of it's in a weird angle. How did I mess it up? Oh wait, here. Oh, I know, cause the game got stuck. So here, the thing is reset now. Where's that freaking dragon, man? Is he even here? Oh my god, look at the transition. Now I can go upward. Look at that transition. Where is the dragon anyway? There's no dragon. Okay, here, now Mipha's Grey is gonna flame jump. What the? Come on, mate! Come on! Why? Why now? What a fail! Oh my! Oh wait! I can still make it. Oh no! I shot him. Why did I shoot him? I didn't know it's gonna hit him. That sucks. Can I keep the thingy, please? No, it's going up high. It's going too quick. Oh no! 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 I had it. I had it so good, like, but here you go. Well, wait, there's still a chance. Wait, there's still a chance. I can use a box. Why am I not using this? Wait, is this even there anymore? Come on, Link. Come. Wait, still there. No, come on. What the crap? I made it. Wait a second. But is the other one still there? And which one am I gonna lose? Which one's gonna despawn first? It's still here. Okay, it's still here. Oh, but... Oh, okay, that's the other piece. I thought it's the one even before that. Wait, we can so make it? Is it still there? It is! Oh my god, I love this game. Oh my god. I love when the game doesn't despawn the freaking objects. Okay, okay. I know, I'm right where I began. Like, what the crap? It's all because of you. You wanted me to go to the dragon. That was the closest dragon. I think we lost him. Is he gonna come back anytime soon? I mean, sometimes he does when you don't pick up the thing. Dang it. What time is it? I don't see the clock. The text is blocking it. Dang it. Wait, what? Oh. It's the other one, jeez. Oh, see, I told you he'd come back. I told you he's gonna come back. Okay, let's reach the dragon portal. Dang it. Oh, come on, what the crap? Well, it's easier from the front. Make it! Okay, I got it, I got it. Okay, we're ready for you. We're ready for you to do the lap. Okay, now we can look at the chat even more. Anybody has questions? Anybody has answers? I don't know. Okay, I'm selling this on eBay. Anybody wants to buy this on eBay? It says Medi. It's original. Anybody? Anybody wants to? But again, guys, I know I joke a lot about this, but I really appreciate it, all the support you give me, like with the comments and all your support on Discord and even Patreon. I really appreciate it. To everybody who doesn't know that I am developing a video game which is called Heavenland, and I really appreciate all the support. I really can't wait to show you gameplay demo. You're gonna be amazed. You're gonna be amazed. I'm telling you. Amazed, I say. Okay, it's hot again. Turn on the AC. Where's the dragon? God dang it. Hey, Kaden. Yes, I'm pretty good at Super Smash Bros. Although, to be honest, I haven't really played it that much. Like the new one, at least. Where's the dragon? He better be behind the freaking punches. Where is it? Okay, here he is. Here he is. Okay, we're ready for you, dragon. Please, flying machine, don't mess it up. Can we get a horn, please? Well, let's do it when he's like super down. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Go in the water, dang you. Okay. Please walk, please walk, please walk. It walked, it walked, it walked, it walked, it walked. He walked, he walked. We can see him. Okay, we're actually at a good pace. We're gonna go above the portal, above it. For the first time ever. Let's save this for funsies. Oh no! No 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 no! I didn't notice the balance. I didn't notice it. Come on, come on. Okay, we're so above it. You're gonna see the portal from above. Come on. Okay, let's not mess it up. I want to get closer, but it is getting too far high. Am I at the highest place already, or what's going on? Does anybody see the portal? I'm not seeing the portal. Oh my god, it's that high up. Look how high up it is. I don't know how high up I am. I don't even know where I need the mountain to see how high up I am. Okay, wait, actually I can. Here, we can. Here, watch this. From the top, from above. Holy crap. I know! Save. Let's save everything. Give me more shards. Give me more shards. And he's lost. Forever. Oh, why did I save it? Oh, what's up? What's up, flying machine? What's up, flying machine? Oh, dang it. It's hilarious when he gets trapped in the cage. But are we gonna get the flying machine back? Or are we losing it forever? I'm just thinking random pixel. Wait, maybe it's gonna land on the thingy. Oh no! Wait, I have an idea. Can I make it? Where's the trees? I need trees. Give me trees. Give me trees, give me trees. No! Wait a second. What is this boat? Oh, it's a mighty Lionel. You barely see those. What? Where's the tree? Oh, here's the tree. And it's lost forever. To be honest, we can still save it. We actually didn't lose it. I'm pretty sure it's still here. Yep, it is. We can still have the flying machine. Wait, is this? Is it the flying machine? Yes, it is. We made it. Oh, jeez, come on. Where the crap are you? Oh, this boat sucks. This boat sucks. He doesn't. Oh, I actually hit him. I was like, whoa, cool, slow motion inside the water, and then no. What? Wait. Hold on a second. How did I get to here? What? Did I not land on the thingy? Come on. I was on land for a second. It should spawn me over there. This game should have rope physics. We know what it does. I think that's the best way. Worthless IKEA. Hey Natinio, the giveaway is happening right now. As you can see the raffle on the left. We're almost at 5,000 people. Like, we're almost there. Like, seriously, we're almost there. I think it takes like 3 minutes to do 1,000 people. Wait, am I wasting my time? Is the thing is here even? It's lost forever, that's it. I mean, it was here, right? No, we lost it! Hey, Tribella Studios! Glad it's your first live stream of me. Enjoy. Hey, Oracle of Booty. Hey, Derek. Of Booty? Of Body, was it? Use boat as a catapult. That's a possible idea. Let's try something else though. Oh no, it's raining. Dang it. Come on. Well, that didn't work. Okay, I can't believe we actually been here. We've been here. What the crap? Okay, let's go to a completely new place. Here. Wait, you know what? Oh, wait. I forgot I didn't even do Eventide Island. Molduga. What are we gonna do with a Molduga? Hey, what does this button do? Bloop. Anybody hear this? I can hear this. Tingle Island. What? Okay, the green screen is messing up. Let's just cancel the green screen, the blue screen. It sucks anyway. Look at this. Look at this. Look, I can just do my face. Look, I don't have enough light here. I don't have enough. When I get my backlight finally, I can have a perfectly made blue screen. Okay, it sucks anyway. Do it without it. Do it without it. You can see my shadow. Wait, let me make myself smaller too. Here, that's better. Here, that's even better. Okay, let's stop fooling around and keep fooling around. Wow, this bow is really cool. It actually looks better than the better one of the liner. Remember that weird glitch I found last week? Wait, how do you... Oh wait, you're not supposed to hold anything. Here, let's do it. Hey, I got it! I got it! I got it again. Oh, I didn't get it. I got it! You can pull out a bow, I mean an arrow. Instead of this boring thingy, you can do this. I mean this. Discovered and patented by Medi. Nobody should be using it. Joking, joking. Okay, so I don't have any shield surfing shields. All of them suck basically. Try this one. This one sucks too. I was trying to jump on your head. Oh, come on, jump on his head. Oh, I missed it. Okay, let's try now. Oh, what the crap? Come on. Oh, come on, I used to jump on his head. How did I do that? I think you need more momentum for that. Oh, that worked. That worked too. But yeah, it's easier when you actually shoot something like... Jeez Louise! Safe Taylor became a hero. Thanks a lot for subscribing, I really appreciate it. Ah, oh, dang it, Volko. I mean, Choo Choo. We're almost at 1,000 entries, almost. You can flurry rush him, right? It's gonna be like a one-hit flurry rush. Let's see if we can double jump from him. Okay, maybe not. I don't even have a weapon. Did you see the eye? Like freaking... Wait, let's make it fiery. Everything is burning here. What? Come on, go, go, go. Go. Okay, I think I'm gonna reload the save in a second. I missed my ancient shield. It's the best one to surf on. Come on, you couldn't grab the thingy. Anything that's icy? Okay, only this. Oh, that was actually good. To Eventide Isle. Wait, maybe not. To somewhere over there. Hey, Techno Gaming. The second you wrote it, I just did it. I did the sky surfing thingy. I just saw a comment on my YouTube. I'm seeing this new video and watching you live at the same time. Oh, it disappeared by whoever it was. To infinity and beyond Hyrule, yes. Wait, there's actually... Whoa, I missed him by that much? Jeez Louise. There's a Hinox over there. There's a thing I've been wanting to try for a long while, and that is to start a campfire on a Hinox and sleep on his belly. But it's kind of complicated to do. We're gonna try now. We're in the 2000s, we're so close, I know. So it's probably gonna finish in like 10 to 15 minutes, I don't know. And then we'll announce the winner. Hopefully, the winner is watching us live. Hopefully, hopefully. Okay, I see a... Oh wait, there's a tree here. Maybe I can't... No, it's too far out. Okay, let's be a ninja 1 second. See, so the main problem is when you put a wood on it, it just falls off. It just falls off. There's no way to actually get it stuck. Oh, that was actually close. Oh, come on. Wait, now? So many trees wasted. But here, oh, come on. Okay, the question is, how do I light it up? With an arrow, with thingy? I don't even have it, okay. Oh, come on. Well, what if I just do 5 of them? Here, with the hand. Oh, is it on? Oh, come on. It broke right away. Okay, how did I get the weapons? Okay, that sucks. Jeez. Louise. Okay. Okay. Okay, we got it. Master Book 0. Did you know that bomb arrows stun the Hinox even more? And he uses this animation? Only if you use bomb arrows on the time. Where are you? Where are you? What the crap? That's always hilarious. It's always hilarious. I've never picked up a roasted floppy. Porgy. Apparently not. Okay, why is it freaking... Why is it so cloudy? I hate it when it's cloudy. See, that's chemistry for you. You can't light up a thingy on the water. Light up, I say! Light up! Okay, now we're less than 1,000 people. 2,000 people, I mean. We're so close! We're so close! We're so close! So close. Super close. Why is my nose so itchy? And what the crap? Why is it so cloudy again? What? Will this light up? No. Can you give me a colorful day? Please! What? That's not a colorful day. Why do I have a shadow on my face? Is this the microphone? Wait, the light is from here. No, the light is from here. My lighting sucks. Can I get a... We got the hands again. You're slipping on my thingy here. Ah! Dang it! Okay, I'm out of here. Just talk to me later. Just talk to me later. See ya! Maybe not see ya. Come on, do it! Okay, I'm not taking chances. Hey, it is a colorful day. He did break it. Whoa! Wait, what? How am I on the beach now? No, wait, just a little bit more. Come on, do that. I can't turn left. Oh wait, I can make it. I can make it. Wait. What the crap? Come on, I'm trying to do something cool. Let me do it. Okay, here. We got it. Okay, is anybody dizzy yet? Just let me know when you're dizzy. Oh! Okay, by the way, I just remembered. This is where I did. Oh my god, we're less than 1,000! We're less than 1,000. Free tickets. Free tickets. Okay, what the crap? We're at 900. 900 entries. 800. Oh crap. This is so freaking close to end. Link, can you finish ragdolling? Okay. Now we can do this again. Okay, we're almost there. We almost got the winner. What happens to number 333? Number 333 wins automatically. So many names. Hey, I just said 2 Aitans. Oh wait, it's different Aitans. Wait, the third Aitan. So many Aitans in the freaking... Another Aitan in the names. How many Aitans are in the world? Okay, there's a number too. Is that an ICQ number? Crap. Okay, we reached the thingy. Now let's do a double backflip. Wait, I forgot how you do the double backflip. Oh dang it. How do you do the back? Oh come on. Wait, that's kinda cool. What, I really just did it from the thingy. No, wait, what? No. Wait, I forgot how to do the double backflip. How do you do the double backflip? Okay, it doesn't seem to be working. Oh, what the crap? Here, it worked. No, entry is not 1%. There was a few thousand users. I think around 5,000 people joined the giveaway, and each of them has like between 5 to 26 entries. It depends how many side quests they did. Oh crap! Wait, I have a plan. We're almost done with the thingies. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Wait. Come on, I gotta make it before it ends. Okay. Are you guys ready? 303 is Jeff Eking, apparently. Hey, I didn't do anything yet. What the? What the heck, man? That was so silly. That was super silly. Okay, 100 people. Who's gonna be the winner? Who's gonna be the winner? Josh, Devin, Adam, Keegan, Sarah, Danny. Come on, who is it? Hervin, Joey, Carlos, Muchan. I just saw Muchan. Is it the top 50? Devin, McFarlane, Dylan what the? Who's Dylan McHugh? Okay, let's see. Do I recognize any names on the top? Charlie Ader, Ragero, Emil Jensen, Jennison Gabriel, Nicole Martin. I only recognized a few earlier. Gabriel, Nadia, Robert Smith, Matthew, Bruno, Penn, Sprazi, Yalun Fifth, Jacob Koshi. I think I know who Jacob is. Dylan McHugh. Are you in the chat?
Neva's grace is ready.
Dylan McHugh. Are you in the chat, Dylan? If so, please say spam in a way I'll notice. Please tell me you're in the chat. Dylan, are you in the chat? Tell me you're in the chat, please. Last time the winners were in the chat. The 4 or 5 giveaways I did, the winners were actually in the chat. But the question is Dylan in the chat? Are you here, Dylan? Dylan McHugh. Are you here with us? Dylan, I must... Okay, wait, let me look him up. I'm gonna look him up. 1 second. Where is all the list? Where is the list of giveaways? Of users, I mean. Dylan, you won a Nintendo Switch. You got a free console. Where are you? Where are you when we need you? Dylan isn't in the chat. Under the name Dylan McHugh. Okay, so who's Dylan though? Are you in the chat, Dylan? Wait, hold on a second. Let me look up. Where's the giveaway folder? Here it is. Dylan. Let's see where Dylan is. Dylan McHugh. Let's look him up on the list of entries. Wait, let's put some nice view here. Wait a sec. Okay, here, that's a nice. And again, thanks a lot for annoying Bokoblin. He has a great YouTube channel. You should definitely check him out. He has very genuine, entertaining videos. And again, thanks him for making this script for me of raffling endless amount of people. I'm definitely gonna use this again in the future. Maybe even modify it a little bit to make it kind of cool, like give it a weird twist. But look how many people joined! Oh my god! Look how many! That took exactly like 2 hours and 10 minutes. See, a good thing this one didn't win. Like, what the crap is that name? Okay, so let's look up Dylan. Let's see if I have his Discord or Instagram. Or maybe his phone number. I don't know. Where is all the thingies? Where is all the thingies? Dylan. What? That's not Dylan. Dylan. Find. Dylan McDonald. No, that's not him. Dylan Ramu. No, that's not him. Dylan. And how many Dylans are there? Here, I found him. Is it him? Is there another one? No, Dylan. No, all the other Dylans are different names. Okay, here, I found him. Dylan McHugh. Okay. Okay, I got your email, so watch out. Okay, you're from the UK. What the crap? Okay, we know he's from United Kingdom. Now let's Google his address. No, I'm joking. Let's not destroy his privacy. What? I have nothing of him. I only have his email. No Instagram. No Discord. Did he even join the Discord? How many entries did he have? He had quite a few entries. Okay. So I was hoping he'd have Discord, but he doesn't. I only have his email. So I'll have to email him. But nonetheless, Dylan McHugh, thanks a lot. I mean, congratulations for winning a Nintendo Switch giveaway. Wait, I didn't look at the chat. Did he join the chat? Shows us a minor outlook. What? No. Okay. He's not in the chat. Dylan McHugh, congratulations for winning a Nintendo Switch console. I'm gonna email your Gmail. That's the only detail you put in the freaking giveaway. Jeez, why didn't you put Discord? It could have been so easy. So I'll be contacting you. I'll be sending you a Nintendo Switch console. Just let me know which colors you want, the neon ones. I'm basically talking to the person who's not here. So, hey Lego dude, thanks again for modding the chat. So this is it basically, ladies and gentlemen, Heroes of Hyrule. I appreciate everybody who joined in and everybody who entered the giveaway and supported. And again, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I owe you, heroes. That's yours. That's not mine. That's yours. It belongs to you, heroes. So again, I really appreciate it. And there's so many. There's reflections of my look. I can show you my laptop and the screen of my laptop. And where's the thingy? Look, there's that's my mouse. That's the yeah. What weird? It's weird. Okay. So again, everybody, I wanna. Okay, it's actually. Hey, you can see my guitar, kind of. Oh wait, it makes me darker. So there's no point. Okay, so I wanna thank everybody who tuned in, everybody who joined the giveaway and supported on Patreon, on Twitch, on Twitter, and Instagram, like everywhere. Thank you so much. I had a blast in the past 2 hours and a half. And again, I love you all, dear heroes. Stay tuned for another giveaway. I'm gonna do another one real soon. I don't know if it's gonna be for Nintendo Switch console, maybe eShop gift cards, maybe just comment on this live stream. Tell me what kind of a cool giveaway I can do. Because I already gave away 2 Switch consoles, and it's kinda getting stale. And I've already gave tens of eShop cards. What is it? I also gave a Super Nintendo Mini. That was one of the giveaways. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what kind of giveaway I should do, and even like in what way I should do it. And that's it basically. That's all I have to say. So again, Heroes of Hyrule, I had tons of fun, and again, I really love you. I appreciate all the support, and we're almost closing 170,000 subscribers. It's still 2 years after opening this channel. It still seems amazing to me, and I thank you every day for this. And again, I really can't wait to show you like the gameplay footage of Heavenland 2nd, which is my video game. I really can't wait. I'm very excited to show you. Hopefully, I'll show it to you really soon. And also do Prologue Third, for crying out loud. It's been so long since I've I was supposed to do it already. Okay, so before I overtalk myself here, I wanna again, for the 1000th time and millionth time, thank you for all the love and support, and I don't know, that's it, I guess. I had a blast in the past 2 hours, and again, Heroes of Hyrule, until next time, I'll see you soon, whether it's a giveaway or a live stream or maybe next video. Just stay tuned, and I'll see you then. Bye bye!